It's a history-making day here in the VFL. A double-header at the MCG, and first off, umpires Rich and Hood are in charge of the Melbourne-Sydney Swans clash. From the centre bounce, it's Hawke who tries to get the Sydney Swans forward, and they, in turn, could create history today because it's been some 41 years since they've won their first 5 games in the VFL. Morwood, playing his 150th VFL game, marks at halfback. 1945, in fact, was the year that they last won their first 5 on the trot. In fact, in that year, went on to participate in the grand final. Now an opportunity for Bolton, receiving from Danaher, beautifully stolen by Flower. Trips as he tries to get the handball away, recovers himself, then keeps on going, pushes it wide, eventually socket off the ground, down towards the right half forward flank for Melbourne, and it'll be Darren Loughton who sees it over the line for throw-in. So a throw-in on the outer side. Hard to gauge the crowd here at the MCG at the moment because heavy rain this morning, and it really did push everyone under cover at the top of the stands. But I'm sure with 2 games, North and Geelong, later on tonight, it's going to be a great sporting event.
The rain has stopped, Sandy. It's starting to brighten up a little bit, and I think the ground is not too bad under the circumstances.
It's pretty good, doesn't it, really, Bill?
Tapped on by the Swan defence. Lyon coming across. Trip could go the way of Bernard Toohey, and that's all. No, it's going to Cooley lay on, and Dennis Carroll coming away up towards centre wing. Carroll goes for the short pass. A free kick must be paid to Kappa, and so Kappa copying one from Hughes. Should still get up a little bit quicker. Who knows? There could have been a player loose between there and the goals. So Warwick Kappa thought about the short pass, moved as though he was going to pass. Now I think he might have the shot towards goal. Warwick Kappa will not make the distance up towards the square. No mark taken. Regalo was the man who brought the ball down towards Stretch. A long kick. That's a lovely kick out of defence, really getting it out of the danger zone. Hawke leads in the race for the ball, gets a hand pass in towards Morwood. Paul Morwood hooks it back towards his brother Paul, Tony. Stephen Wright comes across, taps the ball forward, kicked off the ground by Regalo. Hawke coming across, couldn't handle the ball cleanly. Nagel was in there as well. And eventually Alan Johnson kicks the ball off the ground. Called play on by the umpire. Mitchell throws it over the top and will be penalised.
So the Demons out of strife from half-back. It'll be Darryl Burke going over the centre, and we'll have to pay the man in front in Bernard Toohey. Toohey looking to settle into the Swans lineup, and certainly showed signs of that on Tuesday night as he gives it across to Morwood. Morwood up to the centre wing area, and there in turn finds Tony. Brotherly love to Kappa again. This time in front. Going to be an interesting duel, this one, because Danny Hughes is pretty aggressive. Warwick Kappa at the moment has the score on the board. Now there's a lead down into the pocket. It's a shocking pass going in towards that right forward pocket. Stretch gets a handball away, gives it across to Hughes. Hughes up towards centre wing, and the Demons are out of trouble. The bounce, it's not a good one, and eventually Toohey applies the pressure to put the ball out of bounds.
Sandy, looking at the players that are missing from the Swans lineup, it looks as though Mark Browning is not out there today. Paul Morwood lining up on a half-back flank, picking up Russell Richards.
Here's the throw-in. Ironmonger from behind, wins the thump. Tried to get it down to Hawke, unsuccessful. Ironmonger in over the top once again, and as the sun comes out, another bounce to take place. Going to be a good duel, this. The Demons haven't lost a game at the MCG this year. Ironmonger comes straight over the top. Johnson flattened, but a fair tackle, and again another bounce. Your selection, Bobby, in this game?
I think it's pretty hard to go against the Swans, Sandy, but nonetheless, it doesn't look a bad lineup by Melbourne.
There's the bounce again. It's not a good one on this occasion. Hawke pulled off the ball. Going to ground was Gary Lyon, and he'll take the free kick for the Demons. Straight across to Johnson. Been one of the form players for the Demons. A good mark taken by Ian Roberts. Almost catches Dave Bolton unawares. He gets flattened. Well, almost. Batterston comes out. Here's a chance for the Demons. unable to take it then was Russ Richards.
Gone behind play, Sandy.
Yes, Bernard Tui's having a bit of a chit-chat. So too David Moulton. And with them is what appears to be the Brownlow medalist in Peter Moore. Well, they're coming from everywhere now. And they're still going. Now, the umpire's sitting back watching this. And I don't know whether they're getting their books out or what they're doing. Out comes the goal umpire. He's got to be in the thick of things. Well, they've settled down yet. I'd worry actually more about getting a score on the board than warming up proceedings.
That's a good jumper that John Ironmonger's got on now, Sandy.
Who dresses him? But he may have to speak to the good
a couple
doctor.
of books did come out, Sandy.
I don't know. Were there any names taken? I think yes, there have been. There have been. He's been talking to Steve Turner. He's been talking to Bernard Tui. And he's been talking to Gerard Healy. Well, we'll wait and see when the official reports go in just how that all unravels. Now, in the meantime...
Now, this is a joke. This is a joke.
How do you work that out, Robert?
That is ridiculous.
Steve Turner.
Anybody can pull a free kick out of that.
I suppose there are a number of good magicians around. Turner. A chance to post the Demons' first score. 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Favouring the drop punt. Good-looking kick off the boot, but just off target and 1 point. So, first score.
I will say one thing, Sandy. At least it clears it a lot more than another bounce.
Still amazing, isn't it? Carter, straight down the high diddle-diddle. Stretch.
Now that is ridiculous. That's stupid play by Morwood.
Oh, they're starting to carry on a bit, aren't they? Really.
Yes, but the ball should have been taken off Melbourne when Richards carries on like that.
Yep, dead right. Nevertheless, it's with the young recruit Steve Stretch. Kicking from the edge of the square. Oh, it's a fair drop punt too.
Beautiful kick.
Lovely,
glorious kick.
And he's gold. And the Demons are away to a flying start. 1-1-7. The Swans are yet to score.
A beautiful kick as John Ironmonger changes to Guernsey. And very unusual to see that from a South Australian, Sandy.
Oh, you can't help yourself. And so early in the game. But it was a great kick, Bobby.
Oh, magnificent kick. Virtually from the centre square line. So about 65 metres out.
So, an infringement out of the square by, gee, this game's got everything in the opening couple of minutes. Again, it goes the way of the Demons, and they're down towards half forward once again. Moore looks for the free kick with a decent old shove. Healy gets the hand pass away, and they're out of trouble. Up towards centre wing. Who's going to be first to this one? It could be Tony Moore as he's pushing it towards the line. Keeps it in play now. Eludes one tackle. Steadies on the right foot. What's he got to kick to? Down towards the right half forward flank. Not a lot, and eventually taken over the line by Barry Mitchell, who was under plenty of pressure. Well, despite the rain, this ground holding up extremely well. Melbourne have a 7-point lead. Ironmonger coming in from the side. Taken away by Burke over the centre wing area. Fisted away by Batterston and in turn by Jamie Dersma and over the line. So in once again, Ironmonger coming in over the top was Richards. Down to the half-forward line. Carroll gets taken out of it. Batterston gets the intelligent handball away out towards Loughton. Loughton steadies. Pings in towards goal, but I thought it was going to come back, but it didn't. Bobby?
It did look that, Sandy. It looked like a lovely piece of play by Melbourne, and in fact it was a great piece of teamwork that probably deserved better. Rod Carter will put the ball back into play. It's a nice kick from Carter. Tony Morwood, almost a one-hander, but it's taken away by Bailey. A hand pass through. Healy coming through, had no chance of getting rid of it, although he made no attempt to get rid of it. Trying to play on. Gerard Healy finished with the ball, but the ball will be brought back and Barry Mitchell will take the kick. From half back, Mitchell in towards the centre of the ground. Tony Danaher up high, but couldn't take the mark. Stretch kicks it off the ground. Paul Morwood's there, got the hand pass in, was pushed. No free kick though. Greg Williams to Tony Morwood. To Gerard Healy. Healy, and Coleman takes them up. Well, chance of the first score coming up as Alan Johnson comes off the ground. Chris Connolly on for Melbourne, and it's Coleman. There's Kappa and Hughes in the square as Coleman goes towards goal. It's a nice looking kick from Coleman, and the Swans' first score in the game. 1 goal, a lovely goal from Glenn Coleman.
Done pretty well, Bobby, coming into the side last week, and despite the return of Ironmonger, has been able to retain his position.
Yes, well, last week he showed a lot more confidence. He played those 2 or 3 games while Ironmonger was out, and didn't have the same confidence that he had last week.
So 2 points the margin as the centre bounce takes place once again. Healy tries to snare away the handball, can't do so. Batterston goes bursting through, but can't get away with the football, and the umpire has no alternative but to come in and have a bounce. Still virtually in the middle here at the MCG. Big night of football and a shocking bounce. Eventually thump up towards the Swans half-forward line. Healy takes it away. Goes with a wobbly old kick out towards Nigel Cole, who's got plenty of toe. Cole's kick goes into the vacant right forward pocket area where it should be taken over the line, but at least they've got it down in that attacking zone. There's a free kick going the way of the Demons. So here's a chance for Adrian Batterston. Tackle considered too high. He centres the football. Moore couldn't take it. Neagle at the back couldn't either. The umpire calls play on. Neagle again. Clear this time. Receiving the handball. Steadies. Goes up towards the half-back line. Morwood is there and takes a strong mark in front of Stretch.
Tony Morwood. Well up from half-forward. He's over the centre wing, in fact. Newport coming across for Melbourne. Plays on immediately. Good play by Newport. Drives it back towards half-forward. Tui comes from behind. Punches it down. Picked up by Richards. The hand pass across to Greg Healy. Healy now goes towards goal. Dersmer's in the way. Can't quite take the mark. Peter Moore playing down at full forward, but the free kick has been paid to Jamie Dersmer, and he will take the kick in the last line of defence for the Swans. Dersmer looking for Ironmonger, who takes the mark. Ironmonger from half-back. A high kick. Wright coming out. Couldn't trap it. Tapped on by Williams. Puts the hand pass wide. Finds Wright. His kick up towards the forward pocket. Too far, in fact. Out of bounds on the full, and the kick will be taken by Danny Hughes. Hughes, last year's best and fairest winner for the Demons. Ironmonger in the way. 15 metres. Ironmonger puts it long. Kappa was into the back of his opponent. Should be in the front. Tony Danaher. Across to Bolton. Bolton towards goal. Good play, Danaher. David Bolton. And his goal, but it was one that really belonged to Tony Danaher.
Yes, he done it beautifully, didn't he, Bobby? With the chance to get the handball away. It found David Bolton. He steadied, posted his first, the Sydney Swans second, and they hit the front by 4 points. 13.5 minutes played. Again, a shocking bounce from the middle. Connolly, just on the ground, goes out towards the right half-forward flank. Cole, a chance here for the Demons if he can keep pushing the ball along in front. Solidly met, but he does have support through Batterston, who picks it up now, goes onto the right foot. Not a long kick, and Morwood is there. Affects the handball across to Bolton, covering plenty of territory as the little rover. Down towards the half-back line. Able to see the mark taken by Jarrett. Plays on quickly, but they've lost it again to Bolton. Gets clear. The sweeping handball finds Healy. He can bounce his way across centre wing. Slips, but manages to recover. Back to Williams. Gregg's kick in towards the centre of the ground. No mark taken. Trying to fly across the front of the ball was Hawke. Now Kappa comes into calculation. So too Flower. Flower has possession. Too fast for Kappa. What's he got to kick to? Up towards centre wing. Looks like Hughes has come all the way out. Danny Hughes across centre wing. Up towards the half-forward line. Over the top of Loughton he goes, but Loughton could receive the handball. No, Healy ducked back the other way. Should have given it to Loughton. Would have goaled by now. Instead he goes short and he finds Batterston at half-forward.
So Adrian Batterston, 60 metres out from goal. Stretch kicked one from there earlier, but I don't think Batterston can make the distance. Straight away to Williams. Williams goes short and finds Bolton. David Bolton, half-back. Foolishly gives it to Williams. That was poor play. Morwood was held. Got the hand pass in. Gerard Healy up towards half-forward and finds Tony Morwood. Morwood drives it across the ground, looking for Kappa. Kappa gets a push in the back. Now Hughes, that was foolish play. That's just giving away kicks.
Bobby, you see them every week, but their use of handball, it's like greased lightning with Sydney Swans, isn't it?
Well, you're talking about players like Greg Williams who are very quick with their handball, but so far most of it's been under pressure, Sandy, so it hasn't really been good. Batterson off the ground, Alan Johnson to come back.
In the meantime, Kappa from 40 metres out, but almost directly in front. He shouldn't have any trouble with the distance here. Oh, he's pulled that. It's a shocking kick. And it lifts over the top for 1 point. 2-1, 13. Sydney, Melbourne, a 1-2-8. 5-point margin at the 16-minute mark of this first term. Kappa and Connolly. Connolly at the back takes a good man. Looks for the player going past. Oh, it's a bad hand pass to Flower. This lets in the Sydney Swans. Dersma's kick, however, was smothered. Kappa goes in to try and make amends. Almost threw it back into play, and he copped one at the same time. But I think it's worse than it looks. Oh, no, not as bad as it looks, I should say, because Chris Connolly was there. So what did I do? I'll just get up and take the kick.
I think it's too good, Sandy.
You might be right. Merv Neagle's going to take it. Short. And good kick by Merv.
No, he's not too good at all, Sandy. Kappa behind play.
Well, we might see if Glenn Coleman can do as Kappa leaves the ground. That's bad news for the Swans. Coleman's kick, he pushes it right across the face of goal.
Free kick against the Swans.
And
Tony Danaher.
He's not. I'm watching. He's not sure what ground he's at, Warwick Kappa, at the moment. I'm just watching him leave the ground.
There's Morwood. Paul Morwood, that is, picks it up, puts it forward, and a lovely marking defence taken by Hughes. Across to Regolo. And Joe Regolo coming up towards half-back. Puts it towards the wing, and a good mark taken by the Swan skipper, Dennis Carroll. Carroll elects to go long. Stretch punches the ball away. Good defensive work. He finds Alan Johnson. Johnson now looking for Peter Moore. No mark. Punched away by Carter. Comes back to Carter and loses it. The pack forming. Now it comes clear of the pack as Richards picks it up. A hand pass to Connolly. Chance of a score, but he won't make the distance. And a good mark taken by Roberts, who plays on immediately. Comes out towards half-back. Greg Williams and Alan Jarrett. Jarrett gets there first. Slips in the greasy conditions. Tackled. Hand bowls over the boundary line. But the umpire will not penalise him for that, even though it was deliberate. But there was no way known he would be penalised for that.
So a throw in. 18.5 minutes played, first term. And the Sydney Swans enjoying a 5-point lead. Healy ridden into the ground and is going to be free kicked. It was by Gary Lyon. Healy's pass to Wright. Just on the defensive side of centre. Stevie Wright gets it moving. He gives it across to Neagle. And Greg Williams does the good shepherding work down towards half forward. Now, who's waiting down? An opportunity was there for Barry Mitchell. Still going. Back he goes again towards Williams. Williams passes wide, but effective, and Bayes takes the mark. Well, if he gets it moving quickly, he's got a couple down in the square. He goes straight over the top, but just kept in play. Well, I thought it...
Great defensive work by Turner.
Yeah, he's done well to get it clear, but it goes down towards centre wing. Looking for the free kick then was Russ Richards. Didn't come his way. Williams again in the thick of things gets a lightning handball out, and once again through Williams the Sydney Swans go down towards the half forward line. Here's an opportunity going over the top was Danaher, couldn't take it, and it will be the Demons who push it back towards the centre, and you see Wright repel it. He can't take it cleanly. At the bottom of the pack once again is Anthony Danaher, and eventually the umpire will come in for another bounce. 5 points the difference. The Sydney Swans lead. We're in the 20th minute of the first term.
And the bounce at around about centre half forward for the Swans. thumped away by Turner, taken by Stretch, loses possession. Regalo picks the ball up, gets a nice hand pass to Connolly. Connolly balks, slips, gets it back now. Caught Turner unawares. Turner hand passes out wide, but it's Gerard Healy now who picks it up. Hand passes to Wright. Right now, goes Goldwood. There's a chance of a score here. Yes, it's great effort by the full-back Hughes. That was a magnificent effort. So, two superb piece of defensive work by Melbourne, Hughes and Turner, and we find 1 point to score.
6 points the difference. Kick back into play and the mark taken by Steve Turner. 5 kicks and a good positive start by him as he finds Jarrett at half-back. Jarrett's kick up towards centre wing. Tui, the spoiler from behind, but the hurried kick down front goes up towards the half-forward line once again. The Demons want to score and they want it badly. They've got an opportunity here. The handball over the top to Johnson, and it came from Richards. Johnson steadies as he fires into towards goal, and he's missed.
Should have hand passed over the top, Sandy.
Dear. Well, he's normally such an accurate kick.
It doesn't matter. You make sure that Carter had to come to meet him, so the hand pass to Moore was on.
So only 1 point in the margin again is 5.
Danaher thumps it away. Bolton in towards the centre. A bad bounce for Bailey. Goes after. Good play by Bailey. Really showed aggressive tactics there as he attacked the ball. Morwood into the back of his opponent. No mark. Greg Williams across to Carroll. Carroll hooks it back. Regalo couldn't take the mark. Tapped on there by Danaher. Mitchell gets a hand pass towards Healy, who taps it on, looking for Paul Morwood. Cole is there of Melbourne. His kick running towards the boundary line. In fact, it's over on centre wing, outer side of the ground. 22 minutes approaching in the first term, with Melbourne 1 goal, 3, 9 points. The Swans 2-2, 14. Munger in the front position, and accordingly got a push in the back, so we'll take the free kick. Kick down towards Danaher, can't take the mark. There with Regalo, who forces it over the boundary line, and so a throw-in to take place half forward flank for the Swans. Coleman and Turner. Coleman 23, Turner number 41, gets the thump. Healy, Regalo will tackle. Held for too long after he got rid of the ball, and Regalo will take the free kick for the Demons. So Joe Regalo from the half-back line. Quite slippery out there in the practice wicket area. Regalo's kick towards centre wing. Ironmonger in the way. It's punched away by Lyon. Picked up by Bailey, pushing the back to Newport. And so Newport will take the free kick. Stephen Newport. Bays to come off the ground, so Kappa must be okay. Over the top it comes. Cole off the side of the boot. Pulled down by the umpire. Healy coming through. Breaks the tackle, gets it to Lyon. Lyon a snap towards goal. He's hooked it too far though. It's across the face of goal. Over the boundary line it goes. A throwing to take place about 15 metres around from the behind post forward pocket from Melbourne.
23.5 minutes played in this first term. The Demons wanting a goal here. Moore tries to flick it over the back, then tries to carry it forward towards the goal, and eventually it's pushed over the line by Jamie Dersma, and 1 point only as the result. Rod Carter brings the ball back into play. 4 points the margin. Favouring Sydney. Gets underneath the drop punt going to the outer side of the ground. No mark is taken. Bolton waits down but couldn't snare it clear. Now an opportunity for Jarrett as he goes in towards goal, but he's well off target. And 1 point only. In fact, it was Russ Richards using that left foot but unable to convert. 3 points the margin. Carter again. This time to the point of the square, and this time Jarrett. Got the job today on Greg Williams. He kicks in towards half forward. No mark taken. Connolly tried to come in and steal it. Couldn't do so. Some fierce tackling going on. Ironmonger is the receiver of the handball. Surprises Neagle as he gives him one, but he's got time to steady, clear, get out of the way and push it out towards Williams. How's the bounce? Favourable for Greg Williams. Still going as he gets it across to Healy. Healy goes long to Coleman. He can go over the top to Kappa. He's just come back on the ground. Now steady Warwick. Think and shoot, and he goals.
He certainly did steady, said. I think he worried everybody on the ground.
He kicks his first and Sydney's third. 3-2, leading Melbourne 1-5.
Yes, 11 points to 20. And, so it's a 9-point lead in favour of the Swans as John Ironmonger awaits to compete against Stephen Turner from the centre bounce. The bounce towards Turner. Gets the tap. Hawke intercepts. Got the hand pass in. Caught one too high. A poor tackle by Healy. And no, 15 metres. Umpire suggesting that Paul Hawke was acting. No, Hawke now. Straight down the ground. Coleman up high. Couldn't take the mark, but a free kick has been found to Stephen Stretch. And the Melbourne halfback will take it at centre halfback. Across the ground he goes. And pretty dangerous that. If Healy had his back turned, he might have taken it. But it's Bailey. Brett Bailey, one of the real goers at the Melbourne Football Club, up towards the wing. Ian Roberts, that is, taps it down. It runs over the boundary before Dersma could get to it. So the throw-in to take place, centre wing, outer side of the ground. 26 minutes have gone in this first term here at the MCG, and it's the Swans leading by 9 points. Tackle looked too high against the Demons there, and a bounce will take place. The bounce on centre wing, still on the outer side of the ground. Goes towards Ironmonger, who gets the tap. Williams, the hand pass to Bolton. Shows a good turn of speed. Didn't touch the ground with it, but now gets the boot in. Coleman, the favourite, and takes the mark.
He was about 6 inches short, wasn't he?
I think he realised that, though, Sandy. He was very quick to put the ball onto the boot once he brought it up. And Glenn Coleman, 1 goal to his credit so far, has the opportunity from only 20 metres out. Right through the centre it goes from Glenn Coleman. So 2 goals to Glenn Coleman. And the Swans go to 4 goals to 26. Melbourne 1-5-11.
Yes, 27 minutes have been played in this first term. With 2 goals from Coleman, 1 from Bolton and 1 from Kappa. The Sydney Swans starting to show early ascendancy. The Demons 1 goal coming from Stephen Stretch.
Yes, I was a bit surprised there that Melbourne have swapped Reynolds and Regolo. I didn't think either of them were being taken apart. Coleman had kicked 1 goal, but and got a hand pass over the top. I must admit, had a hand in another, but I thought Regolo was doing all right on Danaher.
Back in the middle once again on this history-making day, the big double-header here at the MCG. And for some, it's going to be a long day, but I'm sure an enjoyable one. As the Swans go into attack once again through Mitchell down towards the half-forward line. Not quite to that half-forward line because Steve Turner is there and will try and repel. Across towards Johnson, back on the ground. Gets a hurried kick up towards the right half-forward flank. As the ball kept in play, only just bounced off the chest of Russell Richards. Eventually goes down towards Moore. He can't take it. They bottle it up. Carroll tries to sneak it out the back door. Out comes the handball to Flower. Here's danger. Robbie Flower goes onto the left foot, kicks in towards the square and goals. Well, been hard hit by injuries in recent times, struggle for form, and it would be so great to see someone like Robbie Flower come back as strong as ever.
I'm a little surprised to see him out there, Sandy, and it'll be interesting to see whether Jimmy Cracker plays in the next game, because if you read the press, they were both concussed last week, and I do not believe that a player should be playing league football 1 week after being concussed.
Williams kick down towards half-forward. Hughes repels the attack for the Demons. Back towards the wing once again. Connolly was there and is still pushing the ball along in front. Received a bit of attention. The umpire said it was unfair, so he'll take the free kick.
Chris Connolly, halfway between centre wing and half-forward flank. Directs it towards centre half-forward. It's a nice kick from Connolly. Ironmonger couldn't take it. The hand pass to Bolton came from Carroll. Bolton's kick off the ground. Nagel first on the scene. Hand pass finds Paul Morwood. A long one to Greg Williams. Likewise to Dersma. Dersma now directs it across to Morwood at half forward, and he takes the mark. Paul Morwood looking for Kappa. No mark by Kappa. Picked up by Burke. Good play by Capper. No free kick coming out of it though. And the long hand pass came from Nigel Cole across to Newport. Newport now directs it back towards Alan Johnson. Didn't get a good bounce, but he was able to tap the ball down, and coming through was Stretch. The former South Australian puts the long kick down towards half forward. Loud it up high, thumps it away there from full back in Carter, and so we'll find a throw-in to take place half forward flank for Melbourne.
Close to siren time. Almost 30 and a half minutes played. Ironmonger at the back. Plenty of weaving and ducking, and eventually the ball pushed dangerously out into that half-forward zone. Healy slipped at the critical stage for the Demons. Couldn't take it away. Carroll goes in. Williams comes out with a handball. Nicely done. Across to Healy. Healy in towards the centre, but there's the quarter-time siren. And at a quarter time, we find the Sydney Swans 4-2-26, leading Melbourne 2-5-17. 9 points the difference, favouring Sydney as we go into the second term here at the MCG. And despite the early rain, the second quarter looks very, very optimistic indeed. Good smother. Johnson gets a hurried kick down towards Carroll. Healy comes through. Jarrett eludes him. Eventually back with Carroll. A hurried right foot kick down towards the right half forward flank. It bounces away, however, from Barry Mitchell and goes over the line. 4 goals to Sydney. Melbourne at 2-5-17. Capper back on the ground. Of course, he left it midway during the first term, but then returned late in the first, and it's good to see him for Swans fans back on the ground once again. Unable to take the mark on that occasion was Regolo. Bailey at the bottom. So too is his teammate there in Newport, and it will be the latter who'll take the free kick. Newport up towards centre wing. Ironmonger caught out of position, but the free kick is going to go the way of the Sydney Swans, and it'll be a chance for Bernard Toohey, former Geelong man, to go into the half-forward line. Waiting down once again for the Demons was Newport. Back towards the centre. Moore plays on and gets caught. Loses it. Pushes it out wide. Healy will pick it up. Swing round onto the right foot and send the Swans forward.
Long kick from Healy. Hughes punches it away from behind. Picked up by Burke. His kick floats in towards the centre. Called play on by the umpire. As we see Toohey coming through. Manhandled. Called play on by the umpire. Richards a poor kick straight to his opponent. Paul Morwood not going down into the forward line with Richards and stayed back. Now finds his brother Tony. Thought about the hand pass over the top to Greg Williams. Now he'll go short to Williams. Nobody on Williams, who's on his own in the forward pocket. Was about to go on, but then saw Hughes coming out to meet him. And so Alan Jarrett a long, long way from Greg Williams. And in the first term, 5 kicks and 8 handballs to Greg Williams. So, as usual, very productive. And a poor kick from Williams goes across the face of goal, and a 1 point the result. So Williams, Hughes it is now, goes for the short pass, finding Turner. Turner a long kick towards centre wing. Toohey punches the ball away. Nagel gets it back down to Toohey. Up towards half forward. Good defensive work by Burke. Tony Moore was about to take that mark. And now we find Melbourne with the agency of Regolo putting the kick up. Flower taps it away. Paul Moore a hand pass into the centre, finds Hawke. Back to Paul Moore. Did call Regolo. It was Bailey who came away from half back. Now it's Turner. Turner the long kick towards the wing. And Healy takes the mark. Greg Healy, that is. Across the ground. Flower on his own. Takes the mark. Forward within kicking distance if Robbie Flower gets onto this one. And so it's poor defensive work by the Swans. You just never let a player like Flower run around on his own. Now he's 45 metres out. Nice looking kick from Flower. Right through. It's a lovely goal to Robert Flower. 2 goals to Flower. And just drifting down the ground. Flower had gone right down the ground to say thank you to Healy. Excellent play. 4 points the margin, 23-27.
So back in the middle once again. Robbie Flower, 2 goals to his credit. And here's, well, there's been an infringement out of the square, and it will go the way of Melbourne. So they're back into attack once again. And they're really starting to put the pressure on. The kick comes from Turner down towards the half-forward line. Morwood receiving the handball, gets clear. Will be on the left foot, celebrating his 150th game. Back towards the centre wing area. Stretch couldn't take it. Now an opportunity for Bolton. An intelligent handball, and they're out of trouble once again. Or are they? Morwood is clear just as he gets his kick up towards half-forward. Only to see a strong mark taken in that position by Turner.
So Turner now from centre-half back in towards the centre. Lyon couldn't quite take the mark. Nagel comes through, a blind turn to Hawke with a hand pass. Finds Tui. Tui across to Williams. Williams straightens up and goes towards goal. Offline once again though, and so Greg Williams puts one more point on the board. So 3-5, 23 Melbourne. The Swans 4-4, 28. Regolo from full back towards half back. Bolton brings the ball down, straight over the boundary line it goes from Newport, and so the resultant free kick will be taken by Jamie Dersma. Dersma at half forward. Kappa in the front position, punched away by Hughes. The pack starting to form, umpire Rich deciding it's time for a bounce. A bounce in the forward pocket. Coleman in the front position, taps it on again. He's tripped. Over the boundary line it goes. No free kick according to the umpire.
Can you read that?
Well, it looked like a trip to me. And so Melbourne up it back. Wright picks up the ball. At the back of the pack, Regolo. Good defensive work, and the Demons are playing well. There's Joe Regolo. Drives it towards Flower on the wing. But he's over the boundary line on the full, and so Merv Nagel will take the resultant free kick.
So Nagel on the attack side of centre, almost down to half forward. Drifts one in about 60 metres from goal. No mark taken. Stretch tried to get rid of it quickly across to Connolly. Connolly goes short towards Johnson, snares it nicely on the half volley. Tried to go out the back door, put his teammate under plenty of pressure. Waiting there is Richards. They're out of trouble again. Oh, Moore, but he'll recover. Constetti only has to just drift it in towards goal, and the bounce will do the rest, but he's done it. And the Demons have hit the front. Melbourne lead by 1 point here at the MCG.
Oh, he was lucky he did miss it, Sandy.
Yes, he kicks his first. Recovered well. And then went on to post Melbourne's 4th goal. 4-5, plays 4-4.
Melbourne started well in the first term. They've started well again in this term. Centre bounce. Ironmonger and Turner. Turner wins out. Greg Williams couldn't take possession. Withers gets the hand pass in. Pack forming, and the umpire has decided it's time for a bounce. And as usual, Brett Bailey in on the bottom of the pack. Ironmonger against Turner. Ironmonger gets the tap. Turner came through and took it. Handball pass forward. Tui's there for the Swans. The hand pass out towards Ian Roberts. Roberts kick wide up towards half forward. Neither Burke nor Wright could get there. And it's over the boundary line, midway between half forward flank and centre wing. Jarrett gets the tap. Bolton kick. No, it was Tui who put the ball forward. Regolo hand pass taken by Jarrett, whose kick goes up towards Lyon. Lyon got the hand pass in. Tap forward by Newport. Tony Danaher does well to come out with it. Coleman to Bolton. The left foot kick from Bolton's a nice looking kick off the boot. Too high for Hughes and through for full points. Kicked by David Bolton for his 2nd goal.
And it's enough to regain Sydney the lead. And the Seesaw struggle in the second term, a 5-point margin, 5-4, plays 4-5, and light rain just drifting across the ground. But I can see out a bit of blue sky. Like Stewie Spencer at the lunch today, had a few problems with the salary cap in the Sydney Swans. We won't go into that. Centre bounce once again. Five points the margin, just over 9 minutes played. Ironmonger wins it out of the middle. Who can take it away? Stretch puts his body over the ball with strength. The call for holding the ball. Play on is the call. Lyon tapped it clear. Hurriedly pushed away by Richards down towards Carroll. Snares it nicely, swings around onto the left foot. Floats it up towards half forward. Over the top it goes. Who's going to be first to recover? Morwood is there, Danaher right at the bottom, but no, they're all going to be beaten. Chip. Trying to get it away was Darryl Burke, and he'll be free kicked, as Bobby said, for a kick. So Burke at half back. Melbourne staying with the Swans in the second term. Waiting down is Mitchell. Hawks hurried kick down towards full forward. Oh, here's a goal at the back. Thank you, says Anthony Danaher, and he goals. First kick for the day for Anthony Danaher.
He's had a hand in a couple of goals, though, Sandy.
Yeah, my word, he has. And that's his first goal. Naturally enough, 6-4, plays 4-5 on Seven's big lead.
So, Tony Danaher proving a worry for Michael Reynolds. A hand in the last 2 goals for the Swans. I just feel that Michael Reynolds has looked a better player at the other end of the ground. Sandy?
Back in the middle once again. Almost 11 minutes played, second term. No decisive winner in that, as though Williams bursts his way clear, just goes short. Now where's Kappa? Hasn't got the pace to come out. Can he recover? No. Hughes pushes it clear, picked up by Wright. Clever handball. Oh, beautifully done in towards the square once again. Going goalwards is Coleman, and he goals. So Glenn Coleman kicks his third, but great team performance there by the Sydney Swans. Drifting it out of the middle, bursting through was Williams. Went short, and it was up to the forwards to do the rest.
So once again, Greg Williams getting it away from the centre, and there's the player we're talking about. And just burst straight down the centre of the ground. He just reads the play magnificently at times. From the centre bounce. Peter Moore in the ruck from Melbourne. Ironmonger still there for the Swans. Bounces towards Ironmonger. And the backhander taken by Robbie Flower. High floating kick. No one could get to it even. Withers comes through. Picked up by Jarrett. His hand pass. Almost taken by Healy. Dersma comes through. It's an accidental trip. Alan Johnson. In fact, Dersma was on the ground. I don't know whether I would have paid that one. Like Johnson tripped himself, really. That's Johnson within kicking distance, though.
7 kicks. Had a pretty fair start to the season too, Alan Johnson.
Very talented player, Sandy.
See what he does with his drop. The rain comes down again, and that ball is just pushed across goal for him. So 2 minor scores on the board to AJ. There's Carter. Brings the ball back, tumbling a punt down the centre, and this will bounce beautifully. They're clear once again as Danaher receives from Morwood. Now here's danger as they go in towards Kappa, who's waiting at the back. Hughes in front, Wright waiting down. Kappa recovers well, needs support, shrugs one tackle, snaps with the right foot, but is off target and 1 point. Kappa, 1 goal, 2. Sydney, 7-5.
And Hughes from full back, looking for Stretch, who just touches the ball. Flower cannot keep it in play, and so a throw-in to take place on the half-forward flank for the Swans. Nigel Cole, not on camera, but on the interchange, ready to come back on. Number 23 is Coleman. Number 30 over the top, Moore. Gets the ball down. Healy's there for Melbourne. His hand pass comes out. Well trapped by Stevie Wright. Good play. He looks for Tony Danaher. And Danaher in the front position couldn't hold the mark. Goes after it again. Greg Williams is in under the bottom of it. It comes out to Newport. His kick up over the centre. Ironmonger spoils Lyon, who comes through to Neagle, who caught one too high, and he will take the free kick. So Merv Neagle hand passes immediately out wide to Dennis Carroll. Carroll being told by Tui that he's got plenty of time, and a long kick from Carroll up to the forward pocket. Kappa up and down before acceptance. He's not playing well at all, Kappa, and Stretch comes away with the ball, floats it out towards Johnson, and he takes the mark. Plays on immediately. What about the hand pass? Now goes long towards half forward. Turner there on his own, takes the mark, gets away. Shouldn't have played on under those circumstances, but did. Free kick upfield, I do believe. Not going to be upfield. He's going to take the kick himself. Umpire saying it was as he kicked the ball, not after it. It's only a kick downfield if it's after he disposes of the ball, and the umpire must have decided that it was not.
Well, Steve Turner's had a fair day. This is kick number 11, because if we're counting that last one, which we won't, so this is 10. But he's just about filled that right into the square. Ironmonger taps it over the top.
Hit the post.
And it drifts over to hit the post.
He's done well, Turner. So I understand he virtually walked in and asked for a run.
Well, 10 kicks, 4 hand passes. Can't ask more than that in a quarter and a half of football. As Carter boot the ball to the outer side, and a good mark taken there by Anthony Danner. Very unsure.
What is wrong with kicking it?
I don't know. And look what he's done. Connolly comes straight over the top of Bolton, and he's given away the free kick. Well, if he kicked the ball long, Bolton, kick number 7. To left foot in towards Kappa, but Hughes is beating him outright at the moment.
And if I were John Northey, I'd have Kappa off the ground.
Hughes out wide towards the wing.
John Northey, I'm thinking of last year. It's Tom Hayford. Well, I had the right coaches. They're both out there.
John Northey would say, leave him there. The centre once again, and here they go again down on the outer side of the ground. Now he can go short, and Eagle's gone into that half-forward line. Plays on, does Mervyn. High, in towards goal. Good-looking kick, and he's goal. So they're steaming away now, Sydney. 8-5.
Gerard Healy having a bit to do with it. Healy and Tony Danaher, and as I said earlier, I would have left Regalo on Tony Danaher, Sandy, and with that move, Tony Danaher has only really come into the play.
8-5, Sydney, Melbourne a 4-7. Centre bounce once again. Almost 17 minutes played, second term. It's a better bounce in the middle, won by Ironmonger. Ironmonger goes for it again. Connolly gets a hurried left foot kick, gathers little distance. Who's able to pick it up? Eventually, sensibly socket off the ground by Tui. Bailey tries to trap it clear. Can't do so. And eventually the hurried kick is taken away by Reynolds. Down towards the half-forward line. Carter comes out to meet it for the Swans. Props, but is clear. Gets his kick. Up towards centre wing, and the Swans out of trouble again.
Danaher up. Comes down to Healy. Gerard Healy cannot get it clear with the Zare of Melbourne, and so a bounce will take place. Ironmonger looked a little bit upset as he came away from that pack. Melbourne making a lot of use of the interchange. Umpire saying we'll have another bounce. There's Alan Jarrett that's ready on the interchange bench, not on camera. That Melbourne have really used the interchange bench. I think Kevin Sheedy would even get a shock at the number of times they've come on and off. Carroll from half-back floats the ball too far, too wide, over the boundary line on the full, and Robbie Flower will take the free kick. Immediately swings it in, but smothered off the boot, comes back towards Danaher. Not good play by Flower. Danaher breaks the tackle, thought about the hand pass, now gives it across to right towards half-forward. The ball tapped away that time by Lyon. Mitchell coming through for the Swans. Coleman lending support with a piece of shepherding. Mitchell comes back onto the left foot. Kappa's there, takes the diving mark. A little bit of luck, I do feel. And there's no doubt that it certainly was not meant for Kappa. And so, Warwick Kappa. Kappa, 1 goal to his credit. The hand pass he received from the big fellow in Coleman. Regalo has come off the ground. Jarrett back on the ground for Melbourne.
And trouble for the Sydney Swans. Bobby, if you keep your eye on Kappa, I'll let you know the news.
Kappa has his shot at goal. 1 point, I feel. Poor kick by Warwick Kappa. 1 goal 3 he has to his credit. And Merv Neagle.
Coming back onto the ground is Bays, but that is Neagle being carried from the ground. Now let's hope that that's not another knee gone. Tragedy not only for the Swans but particularly for Merv Neagle as Burke's kick, keeping an eye on Neagle at the moment, but we'll watch Peter Moore. He is being assisted from the ground. Moore's kick goes down towards centre wing. Turner, another handball. He put his teammate under pressure. Hawke ducking, weaving, Batterston clear, a high kick down towards the half forward line once again. Carter gets a poor bounce. They all do in actual fact. Jarrett was there, so too is Healy for the Demons, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce. Well, doesn't look good. I'm watching Neagle being carried around the ground, and that left leg looks a problem. Ironmonger. Withers hooking it over his shoulder. Clever kick as he brought it back far enough. Jarrett could have left it for... He heard you, Rolly. Brett Bailey reluctant to give it back, but does so. I'll have to go back.
Not like Alan Jarrett either. He's one of the handball's best exponents. Alan Jarrett.
You know that from World of Sport, the National Handball Championship. He's a regular visitor and consistently performs well. Here's another man, Dan, who's starting to consistently perform well as he gets it across to Mitchell. Mitchell's high kick down towards full forward, and the mark is taken there by Tony Moore. 9 kicks to T. Morwood. And 6 marks to date. In the 21st minute of the second term. He just stabs away at a drop punt. And 1 point. So his first contribution to the scoreboard as far as the Swans are concerned, and that gives them a 4-goal straight break.
So Danny Hughes to come back from full-back. It's a lovely kick from Hughes. Tony Danaher up high. Greg Williams. Took too long according to the umpire. Danaher almost took that mark as Alan Johnson plays on. Gains an extra 15 metres and then puts a long kick towards half forward. Robert stumps the ball down. Almost a throw here from Batterston. Carter puts it over the top. And it's forced through for 1 point by Rod Carter. And 1 point to Melbourne, takes them to 4 goals, 8-32, with the Swans 8-7-55. Straight up to centre. Richards picks it up, breaks the tackle. Picked up by Gerard Healy. A long kick. Oh, no doubt it'll be against Burke. Free kick. No, it's going to be called the advantage rule as Morwood goes forward. Kappa can't take the mark. Follows on. The left foot snap from Kappa. Full points to Warwick Kappa. His second goal. He recovered well after not taking the mark. But the advantage rule being paid by the umpire there. It was going to be a free kick. And when Tony Morwood gained possession, away he went. Sandy, I can only assume that Stephen Stretch is injured because I thought he was applying a lot of pressure to Tony Morwood. And now Gary Lyon is there, and I can't quite pick Stephen Stretch up. So he must be off the ground injured.
Yep, I think he has.
Well, that's bad luck from Melbourne because I thought Stretch was doing a solid job.
9-7 plays 4-8, and the Sydney Swans starting to take a grip on this game. Melbourne wanting a couple of goals and wanting them very, very quickly. Just over 23 minutes played in this second term. Healy's got the chance to send them forward. He goes short. Oh, Peter Moore was off before he took it. So often it can happen. And Williams bottles it up. Flower gets away, but Morwood is in front of Johnson to take them up. He had Anthony Danaher short. In fact, there's still no one on Danaher, but he elects to go longer to a very congested centre wing area. Through the arms of Peter Moore it goes. He's not having a brilliant day. No one able to pick it up, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce. Bit of a scrambly old affair there. But the crowd's starting to build up, and of course with the second of the double headers taking place tonight, North and Geelong, and all the action coming away on Sevens, big lead.
Burke of Melbourne, slipping, sliding, tried to tap it through. Greg Healy comes in, he's tackled, and I think in these conditions you must get a little bit of leniency. I certainly would not have penalised Greg Healy as the pass comes towards Kappa. Bolton snaps the ball, and it's taken by Newport. Newport in the last line of defence comes wide, maybe a little too wide, as we see Bailey just keep the ball in play, and Brett Bailey hand passing up towards Withers. Withers couldn't quite gain possession. Bolton sliding in after it. The ball comes out to Roberts. He was tackled too high. No, he's not allowed to play on. Well, that was one time when it was the same player with the ball. So a little bit of inconsistency on that occasion.
So Roberts at centre wing. Into time on. Williams. He can pick up some touches this ball. To half forward. No mark taken. Kappa's been receiving some medical attention, but is still on the ground, by the way. Batterston with strength. Did it well. Now that, Adrian, is an extraordinary piece of acting. There must be a number of vacancies, I believe, for sons and daughters at the moment, because so many of these players nowadays are doing some wonderful auditions. To half forward. No mark taken. Turner did well, the big fella, to get it clear. Running pass was Jarrett, just couldn't pick it up. Or Morwood almost ran into Carter, or was it the other way round? Now Ironmonger across to Carroll, and the Swans are out of strife. Dennis Carroll steadies, swings it up towards centre wing. No mark taken. Danaher. Eventually picked up for the Demons by Richards. Swings it into the middle. Peter Moore, he's off. Is he clear? He is. Onto the left foot, and it's a sweeping drop punt. There's two of them there. They could raffle it, these two Swans boys.
Played an excellent game, Sandy. Dennis Carroll.
Yep. 11th kick for Dennis Carroll. Out wide, Johnson could be first to it. Morwood giving chase. Can Johnson pick it up? That's the big question.
He'll get a free kick anyway.
Well, he will get a free kick, but he couldn't pick it up. They've played the advantage here. Flower still going. Gets it down to his teammate in Newport, who had a good game on during the week. Socket off the ground, and goal by Nigel Cole. Much needed goal for the Demons, and it was Cole who provided it.
That's a good play out there by Alan Johnson. He really had to run a lot of ground to get to the ball, and then got the free kick. The advantage rule played by the umpire allowed Robbie Flower to go on. He took part in a couple of pieces of handball, and it set Cole up for the goal. Centre bounce will be John Ironmonger of the Swans against Peter Moore of Melbourne. Bounce favours Moore. Neither player could get a clear tap though. Hand pass comes towards Richards. Bolton in underneath as well. And the umpire deciding to have had enough opportunities, and he'll bounce the ball. 38-61. Richards with the big punch. Morwood taps it back. Newport leaves it for Richards off the side of the boot, but it's a high floating kick down to the forward area, and Jarrett spoiled his teammate in Turner on that occasion, and the loose ball picked up by Bays of the Swans. Bays up towards centre wing, well trapped by Greg Williams. A hand pass over the top finds Dersma. Dersma swings back now onto the left foot, straightens up with it towards half forward. Peter Moore in the front position takes the mark. So Moore across the ground. Doesn't gain much distance at all, and a poor piece of football by Kappa allows Lyon to play on. Not a good kick from Lyon. Tui takes it. Tui with a hand pass across to Hawke. Hawke look for the hand pass, now goes long. It's Morwood, Danaher, and they leave it, and it runs through for a long goal by Paul Hawke.
Hawke's first. and the Sydney Swans 5th for the quarter. They move to 10-7, 67. A quick reply to Melbourne's 5-8, 38 on Sevens. Big league.
It showed what a poor piece of disposal can do. Sandy is lying and just blindly kicked from defence and went straight to the opposition and set up the goal. 38-67 in favour of the Swans, almost to the 29-minute mark of this second term. Again, no clear tap. Williams is there. A lovely hand pass finds Tui. Tui towards half forward. Morwood up high. Newport picks it up for the Demons. Ironmonger, the favourite, couldn't take the mark though. Richards picks the ball up for Melbourne. Richards towards half forward. Punched away that time. Runs through the legs and it was bad luck for Nigel Cole. As I said earlier with the free kick that was paid Melbourne's way, that one was pretty similar. It was Gerard Healy, not a favourite of the Melbourne fans. Shouldn't swap clubs according to the fans. And a good mark taken by Loudon, who is now in defence. Hand pass across to Reynolds. Reynolds floats it down. It's all Swans as Paul Morwood picks it up. A poor kick. Bayes comes through. Should have taken the mark. Took it a little bit easy. Newport comes through. At the back, Turner should hand pass. It's a goal anyway. No, it's bounced the wrong way. That was bad luck for the Demons.
Jimmy Hicks.
A free kick.
It's going to be.
Free kick to Cole. Loose defence there. Nigel Cole will be on a very acute angle. He's kicked one goal. He's only 5 metres out from goal. The umpire will bring him right around. He'll either try and run around or a banana kick maybe. Check side, is that it, Sandy?
Yes, I think that's the word you're looking for, Bob. He's a left footer on this occasion and he's drifted it. It's a shock kick. And that's it at siren time. To end the first half here at the MCG, and at half-time, the Sydney Swans holding sway. 10-7, 67, leading Melbourne 5-9, 30. The Sydney Swans go into the third term here at the MCG with a handsome 28-point lead. Not insurmountable, but the Demons certainly have the job ahead of them as Ironmonger tries to set them going in this second term. Possession was held by Tony Morwood, the umpire allowing play to go on for a moment in the middle, but eventually, with the sun streaming out, a bounce is decided upon. Any changes, Bob, you can pick up as we go into this third term?
Yes, well, Reynolds has gone to full forward for Melbourne. And as I said to you in the first half, he always looks a better player at that end of the ground. Bayes. Punched away from Mitchell, taken by Tony Danaher. Now gives the hand pass to Mitchell. And a left foot kick over the shoulder, up to the forward area. Moore in the way for Melbourne. So Peter Moore in the last line of defence. Comes wide to the half-back line. Bayes punches the ball away from Richards. It's picked up by Tony Morwood. Hand pass over the top, intercepted by Greg Healy. Healy's hand pass. Morwood comes out in front and taps it on. Bayes forces it forward. It goes over the boundary line and a throw-in to take place. Half-forward flank for the Swans. 67-39, as it was at half-time. A 28-point lead for the Swans as Bolton intercepts the ball. Floats the ball forward. Capper has it punched away by Williams. Mitchell picks the ball up. Off the side of the boot it came, went back the wrong way, and Richards takes the mark for Melbourne.
So Russ Richards from half-back to put the Demons out of trouble with his 7th kick up towards centre wing. Flower, possession, a hurried kick in towards the middle. Now the sun, as I mentioned, is coming out here and playing havoc with some players. It hasn't affected Alan Johnson as he takes the mark with his 10th kick, puts it out on the right half-forward flank, looking for his teammate there in Burke. Under plenty of pressure. And what's the umpire going to do in that?
And the bounce it, Sandy.
Yep. 50-50. Well, it's amazing. We had very, very heavy rain this morning. Now we've got sunshine and seagulls. It can only be Melbourne.
Well, Melbourne have made a few changes, Sandy, with Turner in the back pocket. You know, the way he opened up the game, I would have started him off on the ball.
What a fantastic start.
Long kick from right. Mark taken by Tony Danaher, who's come into the game since quarter time. Long kick from Danaher. Morwood. It's punched away from Morwood. Paul Morwood slips, slides. Adrian Batterson's in there with Paul Morwood. And a bounce will take place. Not far from the point of the centre square. The umpire deciding to throw the ball up. It's grabbed by Peter Moore. A hand pass wide to Brett Bailey. And Bailey's kick. A high one up towards half forward. Flower punches it away from Ironmonger. Wright comes through for the Swans. Being told by Carroll that he was completely clear and he has time to put the ball in towards the centre. Morwood couldn't take the mark. Bolton was grabbed. Picked up by Toohey. A long hand pass from Toohey out wide. And we then see Dersma. Well picked up by Coleman. Doesn't look where he's kicking the ball. And Peter Moore out in front. Now Kappa's not doing enough up forward for the Swans. He's behind on too many occasions as Peter Moore puts a hand pass out wide across the ground. Not good play. Bailey picks the ball up. Goes short. Too high there. Not a good piece of football as Bays now comes on. Easily gets around them. Bays floats the ball forward. But it's all Melbourne. Peter Moore in the way.
So Moore in the last line of defence and a very untidy passage of play.
Where is he going to go?
An arc of about 150 degrees.
Kick.
So he thumps a torpedo punt. He said, darn you, I'll go straight out wide and push it as far as I can. And Cole, at extra pace, is able to push it up towards the half-forward line. But there's no one there to lend Cole or Moore any support. It's immediately brought back to the centre of the ground. And here go the Sydney Swans once again. This is Morwood. Swinging round up towards half-forward, Healy. Now, what can Kappa do? Because no doubt he'll look down towards Warwick Kappa. Hughes is with him. Bit of a decent old shove going on there. Williams across to Kappa. Another one into the square. Coleman has a shot at Cole and he's missed it.
That was very poor football by Coleman. He made no attempt to straighten it up in his hand.
As soon as he put ball to the... Oh no, what have I done? So, the score remains the same. Melbourne 5-9, Sydney 10-7.
So Greg Healy. Des Healy, the father of both Gerard and Greg. It must be pretty hard to decide just who he really wants to naturally want both players to do well, but I suppose a draw would be the best result for the Healy family. Throw in, half forward flank for the Swans. Danaher up high. It's taken by Bailey. Bailey's kick goes straight to the opposition. The mark's built though. Hawke picks it up. It's a high kick down towards the forward pocket. Hughes in the front position but couldn't take the mark. And so a throw in the forward pocket for the Swans. Still no score in this term. 5.5 minutes have gone. Turner made no attempt to keep that in play. And so a throw-in will again take place in the forward pocket for the Swans with Coleman in the front position, Peter Moore. Kappa over the top, grabs it. A hand pass, knocked away by Newport. Peter Moore slipped. His hand pass comes out. Batterson takes it over the line. And the throw-in this time, half-forward flank for the Swans. Not a game that would really make you sit up and take notice, Sandy.
No, here's the throw-in. And once again, the Demons out of trouble up towards that centre wing area thanks to Steve Newport's kick, and Flower takes the mark. Quickly on to half forward. Now here's an opportunity for them. They want a goal, well, they want a couple of quick goals to get back into this game, and Alan Jarrett can provide the first of them, although he's still a fair distance out. But he can kick a football when he gets onto it. See what Jarrett does. 45 metres out. The drop punt on its way. Looks good off the boot. But the accuracy not there. And 1 point over. 27 points the margin. And that, in fact, is the first score in the first 6.5 minutes of this third term here at the MCG.
Ironmonger completely unattended. And he has time to actually touch the ball on the ground. Then loses it. And that's not good play by the big fellow. Healy takes it from Withers, back to Withers, over the top to Cole, a goal coming up as Cole puts it forward, and I'm sure John Ironmonger doesn't feel too happy.
Nigel Cole has kicked his second. He got one in the second term, and can that spur the Demons on? They're 6-10, 46, trailing Sydney 10-7, 67, on sevens, big lead. Greg
Williams there. John Ironmonger. And Ironmonger touching the ball on the ground and then losing it.
What do you think Greg said to him?
There should have been someone there to take a hand pass off him. On the bounce. Moore. Withers puts a high kick in the air. Punched away by Flower. Hawke comes through for the Swans. And towards half forward. Two Melbourne players spoil each other. A loose ball comes out to Bolton. Bolton puts it over the top of it, bounces the right way. It does! A leg break, off break, whichever way you like. And Bolton brings up his third goal.
And great play by Coleman, who barged his way through and eventually got the ball to him. So once again, the Sydney Swans are able to provide the very quick reply.
It's 3 occasions now that Bolton has come down from the wing and put a goal on the board.
11-7, 73. Melbourne are 6-10, 46. 8.5 minutes played. Third term, centre bounce once again. Moore up against Ironmonger. Won by the latter. Johnson through but couldn't take it with him. So too was Batterston. Still plugging away. Newport, a hurried kick, gathers little distance up towards the half-forward line. Plenty of height. Carroll is there for the Sydney Swans, looking for the free kick. Not going to come his way. And the umpire eventually decides upon a bounce.
Bounce very close to the point of the centre square, and Demon side of the circle. Ironmonger gets the tap. Good tackle against Withers. Withers does well to come back and get it through to Johnston. Johnson now with a high kick towards the forward pocket. Richards has it punched away at the back of the pack. Healy, but it goes over the boundary line before Greg Healy could gain possession. So a throwing to take place in the forward pocket for Melbourne. With Melbourne on 46 points, the Swans 73, approaching the 9.5 minute mark of the third term. Ironmonger gets the tap. Pack starting to form. Healy came in late over the top. And the little fellow in underneath was Barry Mitchell. Ironmonger, sharp by Johnson. And bounce into the square, and Carter takes no chances. Thumps it through for one rush point to Melbourne. Melbourne 7-10-52. The Swans 11-7-73.
And Bobby, with the advent of the sun, I don't know whether it's my imagination, but my word, that crowd has certainly built up in the past half hour or so.
I do believe you're right, Sandy.
Thank you, Bob.
Hawke almost took the mark, got one too high, but no free kick forthcoming. Mitchell comes out with it, a hand pass smothered, picked up by Gerard Healy, swings back onto the right foot and has time to steady. Now drives it long towards half forward. Coleman out in the front position, can't take the mark, but lending support is Bolton. Bolton's kick smothered off the boot. Turner comes through. Mitchell dives in, well taken away from him by Withers, who recovered well. The left foot kick towards half forward. Carroll coming across, can't take the mark. It bounces over the line, and the throw-in to take place. Half forward flank for the Demons. John Ironmonger, number 1 for the Swans. Peter Moore coming across, number 30 for Melbourne. Ironmonger in the front position. Stood his ground. Williams is there. And the umpire saying, give it to me, I'll bounce it. Quite a pack of players around the bounce. Peter Moore got the big tap. Cole put it over the back. Johnson's coming through. The hand pass over the top to Healy. A goal coming up as Greg Healy puts it through from the forward pocket, and Healy brings up his first goal.
So the Demons fighting back 2 quick goals, and they will not lie down yet. Greg Healy kicking his first. Nigel Cole has 2. Robert Flower has 2, and singles to Stretch, Moore, and as I mentioned, to Healy. 20-point margin now, favouring the Sydney Swans. Another quick one here and certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's see what happens at the 12-minute mark of this third quarter. Won by Ironmonger, but who can take it out of the middle? Healy again, hooking it over his shoulder. The bounce, not a good one for Jarrett. Couldn't quite take it on the half volley. He does have support through Batterston. Gives it across to Moore, up to Flower. Just over his head. Oh, it may bounce favourably for him. No, the boundary line is too close, and there was plenty of pressure coming from Jamie Dersner. It goes over the line. So a throw in the Demons' right half forward flank. More jostling with Coleman. And another bounce. Still on the right half forward flank. Sounds like Bob Scoulton's got it on the phone. Here's the bounce. A roundhouse right by Peter Moore. Oh, forcing his way through was Carroll. Goes wide, but a fraction too wide for Barry Mitchell on that occasion. And it just beats him over the line. 53 plays 73. 13 minutes gone. Seven's big lead.
Glenn Coleman against Peter Moore. Dersma comes in and intercepts. Puts the short kick out towards the wing. It runs over the boundary line, but it still goes about 30 metres further away from the Melbourne goal. So good play by Dersma. Moore. And again, Dersma coming in over the top and getting the big fist to it. Hawke takes it for the Swans. Puts the kick towards half forward. No one could take the mark. It's stumped on by Bolton. Tony Morwood snaps it towards goal. He's offline though, and a 1 point only on the result. So, point to Morwood. It's his second for the day. And the Swans are 11-8-74 with Melbourne on 7-11-53. A short pass to Lyon. And Lyon now in the back pocket. Goes short again. Finds his teammate in Greg Healy. And Healy in the practice wicket area, which is quite slippery.
11th kick, Bob.
He's done a good job. Both Healys have. One for Melbourne, one for the Swans. As Peter Moore's up high. Puts it down wide. Hawke's there for the Swans. Is held when not in possession and will take a free kick. No, they're allowed to play on. As the advantage Will sees Gerard Healy come away with it for the Swans. Tony Moore in the front position. Could easily have been paid. Burke's hand pass comes out. It's a throw according to the umpire, and Bolton will take the free kick. And David Bolton. And kick number 11 favours the torpedo punt. And it's a Melbourne mark, or should have been a Melbourne mark to Regolo. He missed the sitter. Recovers though and comes through. Was held. Can't get the ball clear. Scrambly play, and a bounce will take place. 21 points to margin, so Melbourne have gained 7 points in this quarter. 15 minutes into the turn. Turner. Hawke gets the hand pass. Wright comes through, intercepted by Hughes of Melbourne. Hughes puts it right out of the danger zone. Jarrett missed the sitter. Coming through is Paul Morwood. Swings it back towards half forward. Kappa, a diving mark called play on by the umpire. Tony Morwood slides in, so too Johnson. And umpire Rich will say a bounce at centre half forward.
Mitchell off, holding on, Bob. Sydney 11-8, Melbourne 7-11. Plenty of mistakes occurring in this third quarter. Moore, Williams, the hurried kick by Hawke, Kappa, almost in front but couldn't take the mark. And another bounce to take place.
Holden appealing for the free kick. That's the umpire saying, I'll have none of that.
He'll be as keen as mustard, just having come onto the ground. Here's the bounce again. It's a poor one. Ironmonger's kick is partly smothered. Holden tried to get it away, couldn't do so, and they bottle it up again very quickly. Alan Johnson comes out and says, look, try bouncing that. And they all go to ground, and eventually Chris Connolly decides to take a kick up towards centre wing, taken by Flower, swings onto the right foot and looking for Healy. Pushed down in front, almost came back to Flower again, but Batterston was there. Poor kick over, and the Swans' defence is remaining firm. Danaher, a hurried kick out wide towards the wing. Johnson's the only one there. In fact, it came from Carroll. Johnson was there by himself, takes the mark, and in some of the disposals, certainly leaving a lot to be desired at the moment, as Williams gives it across to Tui, to the half-forward line, and thump over the boundary line for another throw. Plenty of mistakes though, Bob.
There are, Sandy, and both sides were guilty on that occasion of poor disposal.
Here's the throw in again. Ironmonger and Moore. The former down to Williams. And again, no one at home for the Sydney Swans. And the mark taken by Turner, who's done a fair job today, particularly in the first half. That was mark number 6. And with his 12th kick, he goes to centre wing, only to see Coleman take a strong one. Looks to play on quickly. Oh, he's put Burnett. He got the beauty, Burnett. Little Stevie Wright goes in and says to Peter Moore, "You doing anything for dinner tonight?" And back to Tui. Good-looking drop punt. Now, where's Kappa? Ironmonger. Kappa. Goals! Well, he did the roving work on that occasion for Big John Ironmonger, and Warwick Kappa has posted his 3rd goal. So, Sydney 12-8, leading Melbourne 7-11 on 7's big lead.
We've only got someone of Ironmonger's height there. Kappa doing the right thing to do the roving, and not only did he do the roving, but it was an excellent snap. Hasn't been the greatest of days for Warwick Kappa, even though he has kicked 3 goals. 53 to 80, 18.5 minutes into the 3rd term. Coleman, a backhander. Tony Danaher tapped it on. Withers gathers it in well. And well in this quarter, Withers. Puts it out wide. Healy, another good player for Melbourne. And Greg Healy. In towards centre-half forward. Boom! Free kick has been found. Tony Maud will take the kick. Paul Maud, I should say. And Paul Maud playing his 150th game today. Dennis Carroll loose in the centre. Bad checking by Robert Flower. And Coleman, I should say. I'll take that back from Robert Flower. It wasn't Carroll, so I cannot be critical of Flower. Chris Connolly from half-back. Connolly. A long kick. No mark taken. Almost thrown out by Healy to Morwood, to Bolton, back to Morwood. Morwood misses the team, and so it's kicked off the ground by Johnson. Good players. Greg Healy comes in for the Demons. Will there be a goal if it bounces the right way? It does! And an excellent goal by Greg Healy. And Melbourne answering that challenge once again as Greg Healy brings up his 2nd goal for the term. 2nd for the term, 2nd for the game. 8-11, 59 Melbourne with the Swans 12-8, 80.
13 kicks to Greg Healy as they surged it down to that forward line, and he was able to convert, just punching it onto the left foot and spinning it through. So a 21-point margin again. But the Demons have had trouble closing that gap. Got down to 20, but haven't been able to crack it down to 14 or so in the past quarter and a half. But they're into attack once again through Withers. No, they're not, because the whistle had sounded already had, and it's a free kick to the Sydney Swans. See what it was for, Bobby?
The trip, Sandy.
Carroll, I think, will give it to Wright. And he's pretty busy, Stevie Wright. Now here comes Kappa, and marks at half forward, and he's taking those boot studs out the back of his Withers jumper. Eighth kick, and so far Kappa's contribution has been 3 goals, 3, and that one is off target. 3-4 to Warwick Kappa. So the Sydney Swans just edge a further point clear. 22 points. The Demons, through Withers, trying desperately to get out of trouble, and he's put himself under all sorts of pressure there, and the umpires have finally plucked one out and says it will go to David Bolton.
So Bolton very wide on the half forward flank, about 70 metres from goal. And a good kick, but Kappa takes advantage of that, and if you're in front and the kick drops short, there's every chance that you will get the opportunity, as happened then. And Warwick Kappa, 3 goals, 4. In distance, he's only 35 to 40 metres out from goal. Again, not a good kick from Kappa, so it's 3 goals, 5 on the board. 12-10, 82 to 8-11, 59. 23 points. The margin held by the Swans. Hughes elects to come to the members' side of the ground. Tony Danaher, the favourite, and he takes the mark. So Danaher puts it high and long. Ironmonger up high. Comes back to Ironmonger, snaps down towards the pocket. Can Morwood get there? Can't quite make it before the boundary line. It bounces well for Lyon, and he has plenty of time now to have a couple of bounces. Come around in towards the practice wicket area, and from the half-back flank puts it towards the wing. Over the top it comes from over the top of Alan Jarrett. Coleman coming in, cannot get there before the boundary line though, and a throw-in will take place on centre wing, outer side of the ground. 59-82, 23 minutes into the term. No ruckman there for Melbourne, so Alan Jarrett forced to compete against Coleman, and comes out to Williams. Williams hand pass smothered, should have put boot to ball that time, and it's Johnson now puts it forward. At the back is Bays. Bays drives it long and out of the danger zone. Put down by Hawke, taken by Williams. A nice hand pass across to Paul Morwood. He's trying to run his full distance and put it long. Hughes punches it down. Peter Moore comes out, traps it well. And it's time for a bounce. Moore finds Cole out in front, well out in front of Toohey. Cole now puts it down. Carroll in the front position. It's punched away by Jarrett. Reynolds and Flower both got a bad bounce. Step back. Carter couldn't take possession of the ball. Healy gets one in the back and will take the free kick. Gerard Healy served the Swans excellently today. A nice pass finds Paul Morwood. He looks for Tony Danaher, and Danaher on centre wing takes the mark. A hand pass to Williams. Williams goes short, finds Bays. Wasn't meant for Bays, it was meant for Holden. But nonetheless, the ball into the Swans area as Wright takes it. His hand pass poor, straight to Johnson. Johnson now gives it to Burke. Burke with a high, long kick over the half-forward line. Flower from behind couldn't take it. Healy snaps it up, goes towards goal with the left foot. I think he's offline though. Greg Healy not pleased with himself. 2 goals, 1 is his score. 2-2.
22 points the margin from the kick back into play. Batterston the opportunity for the Demons. Gets clear, gets his handball away. Under pressure is Richards. Can he get a kick in towards full forward? He can. Carter getting back on it now. Gets a touch and drifts over the line for another behind. Into time on, and the Demons desperately seeking a couple of goals to try and make a real fight of it in the final term. Carter had a look to the outer side of the ground, which is what he does. Withers hurried kick, gathers little distance, goes into half forward. Cole, can he pick it up for the Demons? He can. Gets a hand pass back again towards Withers, who goes with a high kick down towards full forward. The bounce, well, it did do a Bobby Skilton leg break, but not nearly enough. And another point goes on the board. Well, they're peppering away, 8-14.
They're playing well, Sandy.
To Sydney's 12-10, but they're unable to convert. Carter again. Again to that outer side. Fisted down, Williams roving beautifully in front of the pack. Kicks in towards the centre of the ground, and Hawke takes the mark. Pinpoint placement by Williams. Now here comes Capper. Drops it. Hughes is after him, but Capper recovers, and he's got support down the flying over the top. I didn't even think he hit him.
No, it was a tackle, Sandy.
It was the tackle that was
too high, the tackle.
Done by Danny Hughes. So unfortunate for Hughes.
And Jamie Dersma doesn't often have shots at goal, Sandy.
What are you suggesting, Bob? It could go anywhere?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying he would be delighted if he can put it through. Backmen love to kick a goal.
You're trying to get out the back door now. Let's see what Jamie Dersma can do. Using the drop punt. Tell you what, it's a fair kick. He's goal. And that's a good goal by Jamie Dersma. So he heads back to his defensive line as the Sydney Swans post their 13th and once again open up that margin. 13-10 to 8-14 on Seven's big lead.
We await the centre bounce. I felt they might have made a bit more use of Turner, Sandy.
Yes, he had a tremendous first half, but no doubt that's a question you'll be able to pose in Club Corner tomorrow, Robert.
Tomorrow's Saturday, Sandy.
Well, where didn't you know? We're doing the show early. Okay, Sunday. Clever Nick.
Kicked off the ground by Healy, but not before umpire Richard decided it was time for a bounce. So the bounce will take place across the centre square line on the Melbourne side of the centre, with Melbourne 8-14-62 trailing the Swans on 13-10-88. A 26-point lead to the Swans, so the Melbourne side play well in this term but have only gained 2 points, Sandy.
Yes, from that bounce they've got a chance to go forward once again through Cole. It's a high kick down towards full forward. Carter's playing in front. Again, he does have very good support. It's a high kick and it's wide by Ian Roberts on this occasion, out of bounds on the full. So with the time clock showing 28.5 minutes played, the Demons have a chance to go forward through Darryl Burke once again.
And Burke from the half-forward line. Very high kick. Coleman left it for Roberts. He couldn't take the mark. Carter picks it up. Hand pass across. Almost smothered there from Holden. So Healy to Paul Morwood as the siren sounds. And at three-quarter time, we see Melbourne 8-14-62, trailing the Swans 13-10-88.
Can the Demons make up a 26-point deficit, or will they lose their first game here at the MCG for the year? On the other hand, the Swans looking to have their best start for a season since 1945. Withers' kick goes down towards the half-forward line. Flower soccers it off the ground, down towards half-forward, but a bad mistake there on that occasion by Richards sees the Sydney Swans clear back towards the centre, only to see that attack repelled once again. And he's off. Up towards half-forward. No mark taken. Over the top's Batterston, and at the bottom of the pack is Gerard Healy. Well, the Healy boys have both done good jobs for their respective sides today. 24th possession. Here's another man who's worked hard in his 150th game, Morwood. Paul to half-forward. The sun again shining out as Wright goes through, but without the football there'll be a free kick as Greg Williams went over the top illegally on that occasion, and young Chris Connolly will take it. He scoots off past Holden, gets his kick wide across the centre, and Bernard Toohey takes a strong mark. Toohey's kick again up towards half-forward, and again Regolo takes the mark. And that's the second one in as many minutes by Big Joe. Back towards the centre, and the wind stopping that ball almost right in the centre circle. Bailey effectively spoiled, then followed on his own good work to pick it up and kick it up towards half-forward. Jarrett underneath it takes the mark. Looks for the player going past. Finds him in Peter Moore. Now he can go deep into goal here. He does, going over the top, and I reckon he's goal. Great start for the Demons in this final quarter, and the margin is once again 20 points on 7's big lead.
I thought it was a fine piece of play there as Alan Jarrett put the hand pass out, but I personally thought it was a point, Sandy. I thought it went to the other side of the post. Did you? I really did. I thought the goal umpire made a drastic mistake there.
Well, it could be an interesting one to watch your decision on World of Sport on Sunday. And I wonder, did that runner...
I'm convinced that this...
I reckon that runner came out and said something then. Well, we might make a note of that and just be able to have a look at it. Anyway, they're into attack again. Will this be a goal or a point? Neither, because Morwood has marked the kick that came from Healy.
In towards the centre. A well-placed kick finds Paul Hawke. He was going to play on. In fact, I think he did play on, but the umpire allows him now to come back and have the kick. And a good kick it is. A spirally torpedo punt. Kapler up high. Couldn't take the mark. Over the back, it's Connolly, and Connolly puts it through for 1 point to the opposition. He had nowhere to go, so he said the best thing I can do is rush a point through. Hughes of Melbourne, the full-back, last year's best and fairest winner. Lovely kick from Hughes. Almost reaches the centre, and Peter Moore takes the mark. Moore is played on now, and now has to swing wide to the is looking to go to the outer. Flower gives away a free kick, and Bernard Toohey will take it. Dersma hoping for the advantage rule to be paid, but the umpire was having none of that. He'll bring it back, and Toohey will take the free kick in defence, in between centre half back and centre of the ground. 68 to 89, 21 points the margin held by the Swans, approaching the 4-minute mark of the final turn. Toohey towards half forward. Withers in the front position. Tony Danaher, a nice mark. And Danaher half forward. On the forward flank. Leek is saying that he's going to go long. And long it is. Coleman at the back. Connolly tackled, puts a high kick in the air. Doesn't go far enough to get any distance, and Greg Healy comes out. Was tackled by his brother, got the hand pass in. Newport picks it up well, keeps it in play and bounces towards the boundary. That was excellent play by Newport. He had nowhere to go, so he just bounced it around the line and over the line for a throw-in. Moore coming in from behind, up high, gets the tap. Bolton couldn't take possession, gets into the back of Newport. No free kick though. I thought that Newport should have been given the free kick. And so we'll find a bounce to take place, almost at half forward flank for the Swans. He's not going to bounce it, he throws it up, so it must be damper than we think out there. Batterson gathers it in. Batterson towards half forward. It looks for Flower. Touched by Carroll, but Flower gathers it in now. The hand pass over the top to Richards. Richards took too long. It was nearly a trip. He now straightens up and goes to goal. Excellent play by Melbourne.
So back come the Demons with 2 quick goals, and the margin is now just 15 points. Sydney 13-11, Melbourne 10-14 on Sevens. Big lead.
Good play by Flower. Read that one well. Carroll couldn't tap the ball forward. So Robbie Flower, who's now at centre half forward, has been since half time or just before.
Here's the bounce. 15 points the margin. Moore wins it against Ironmonger. Can they surge it forward once again? No, says Hawke, as he gets the sweeping handball out wide. Finds its mark. Now the running player is Danaher. Receives, steadies, fires in towards goal. Is this the quick reply? I think it is. It is. And that's how quickly they can turn it back on again. So he kicks his second, and Sydney's 14. 14-11 to Melbourne 10-14.
Hasn't been the most impressive day, as you see Dr. Jeff Edelson and his wife, and in the background Alan Aylett. We wait the centre bounce. 21 points to margin, 6.5 minutes into the final turn. And watching Sevens Big League, the MCG, Melbourne versus the Swans. Johnson could not get clear. Jarrett picks it up, loses possession, taps it on. Good play by Jarrett. Carroll comes through, strong, almost threw the ball out. Hawke was held. Lost possession of the ball and is penalised, so Richards will take the free kick for Melbourne.
He'll put this deep into attack too, Bob. Let's see what he can do with it.
Russell Richards goes for the long kick. It's a nice kick by Richards up towards the square, and a well-judged mark by Greg Healy. Not good defence down there by the Swans. Not enough desperation whatsoever. A 15-metre penalty brings him right onto the line, and it should be 80 to 95, a 15-point margin after Healy has his kick. 20 possessions to Greg Healy, 16 kicks, 4 handballs. As umpire Rich indicates, that's the angle. You can see for yourself. As Healy puts it through the centre, and the margin 15 points.
3 goals now to Greg Healy, and they're still having a bit of a chat about it, but don't worry, the goal is on the board, and that's all that counts.
And Dennis Carroll, a little bit upset about that, as we see Greg Healy and Ian Roberts. I mentioned about players being concussed. Roberts didn't look too good when he was taken off the ground on Tuesday night either, Sandy.
Nope. He's out there today, and things are warming up. A margin of 15 points. Well, they want another one here, and the Melbourne members will certainly come alive in strong voice. Let's see what happens from the centre bounce. A good tackle on that occasion. The ball was held, however, despite Morwood's tackle, says the umpire, and another bounce to take place. And 10 metres out of the centre circle, into Swans territory. We played 8.5 minutes of the final term. Moore to Johnson, a hurried kick, gathers little distance, difficult one to grab. Tui doesn't grab.
Very courageous, Mark. That's it.
It was. Bernard Tui settling into the Swans pattern. Goes up towards the half-forward line. Lyon thumps it away. Taken by Holden. Has to backpedal initially as he finds Williams, who goes beautifully out to the half-forward line. I don't know where he sees them, but he just seems to pick them up. And Bay's kick in towards full forward. Where's Kappa and Ironmonger? Kappa's at the back, but I think he was over the mark. He was in one point. 16 points the mark. Hughes has kicked out beautifully all day. Moore is the target. In front, appeared to drop his head slightly. Couldn't take it. Bailey through. Gets it across to Withers. Withers another one to Flower. Now the Demons are alight as Robbie Flower hooks it across towards the half-forward line. Should be a free kick. There will be.
Melbourne are looking good, Sandy.
Joe Regolo, who started this term with a couple of good grabs, couldn't take that one, but was held. Now here's a chance to make the margin just 10 points. 35 metres out, almost directly in front. The kick from Regolo is ugly off the boot. And very, very out of bounds on the full.
He hasn't kicked well all day, Sandy, even from defence, so coming off the side of the boot like that.
Bad luck for Joe and Melbourne as Carter to relieve some of the pressure. Still a 16-point margin. They're saying, no, you've got to go back and kick over the mark. Very technical. That's unbelievable. Still, that's what they're doing. While that's happening, there's an interchange. Looks like Holden coming off, and Barry Mitchell is back on the ground for the Sydney Swans. So Craig Holden spending the bulk of the day on the bench. As Carter this time kicking from behind the mark. Moore couldn't quite take it. Nor could Morwood. Was the tackle too high? No, said the umpire. Mitchell, fresh man on the ground, gets a hurried right foot kick down towards the centre of the ground. At the back is Conley. Oh, but it's cleverly tapped forward by Bays to right. Stevie's away as he fires in towards goal and puts it through. Great goal by the running Stevie Wright. And the Sydney Swans are able to steady as they crack the ton. 15-12 to Melbourne, 11-14 on Seven's big lead.
Fine play to Mark Bays there, Sandy.
Yep.
Tapped it over the top to allow Wright to get that. An excellent piece of play. And little Mitchell doing well, coming back off the interchange bench and taking that ball out of defence. There's Mark Bays on the wing. Centre bounce. Coleman against Moore. Peter Moore gets the tap, not a clear one. It's picked up by Healy across the Bays. Gets through the tackle. Puts the short kick in, looking for Bolton. Bolton a hand pass over the top to Wright. A chance of a score again. As Stevie Wright this time is offline though, and a 1 point the result. And that point takes the Swans to 15-13. 103 with Melbourne 11-14, 80. Lovely kick once again. Burke. Taken by Connolly. The long kick towards half forward. Carroll in the front position. A nice mark. Carroll. 13 kicks to Dennis Carroll. That was the drop punt. And the mark taken out wide by Greg Williams. Williams puts it down towards the forward pocket. Newport coming back takes an easy mark. Newport done reasonably well today, Sandy. The hand pass off, puts Hughes under trouble. That's poor play. The minute you give them a rest, Sandy.
Put the moz on it.
There's just no sense in that whatsoever.
What's wrong with a decent punt?
Moore gets a tap. Tap back now by Hawke, picked up by Bays, across to Williams. Dummies beautifully, but it's well smothered. Good play by Melbourne. And we find now Williams puts it across. It's fumbled though. Withers has done a good job since coming off the interchange bench, but on that occasion just couldn't get clear with it, and the Swans have a brief respite. Coleman and Moore. Hawke. Kick smothered. Comes wide. Tony Danaher came in, did well to take the ball. Can't get clear with it though, and a bounce must take place. And a bounce from the centre square line towards the outer. Coleman and Moore. Coleman got the tap. It's intercepted by Batterson's kick over the shoulder. Tui couldn't take it, and a bad bounce for him. Sees it bounce well for Cole. Shows a good turn of speed. Has time for a bounce. No. Almost loses it though. Gets the hand pass into Johnson. Johnson goes goalward. Coming across, but it's through, I feel. And a lovely goal to Melbourne, kicked by Alan Johnson.
And Cole comes across to congratulate him. I thought, Bobby, he might lose it on that cricket pitch area for a moment. But he didn't.
86 to 103.
Alan Johnson, 13 kicks.
17's, Andy.
That's another quick four, gives him 17. So here we are back in the middle once again. Margin of 17 points. Flower spins out, but then into trouble. Williams throws it out, but allowed to go on. Pushed out in front of Withers. Who's going to get there first? And in fact, it won't be Withers, and it'll be no one, because Carroll couldn't stop it going over the line. So another throw. Well, they've tried their hearts out, the Demons, but they just haven't been able to catch them yet. And time is starting to run out as Moore flicks it over the back, winning. It should be a free kick to Brett Bailey. We'll take it for a push. They've got to get it down there quickly, and they've got to convert. Well, he's wobbled that right across...
Bays was asleep.
He was asleep because it should have been spoilt, but it didn't matter. Belt took it, but he's really not much closer. He's at half forward. And that one comes off the side of the boot, down towards full forward. Ian Roberts waits down close to the boundary line with Rod Carter, and he takes it over the line. So a throw in Melbourne's right forward pocket. 16 minutes played, and they trail by 17 points. Johnson a chance. Caught. Oh, hits the post. And he got out of one tackle. Kicked under pressure. And for AJ, 1 goal's fair.
Dennis Carroll, the long kick, Newport into the back of his opponent, gives away the free kick. And so Bays will take the free kick. Lovely kick from Carroll, put it right out of the danger area. Nice kick from Bays towards half forward. Punched away from Richards. Hughes comes through. Good, strong defensive work. Puts it long back towards the half-back. Burke uses his body well. Dersma comes out, though, strong in defence. Gets it clear, but loses possession. Regalo picks it up. Bays comes in. Cannot get the ball clear. And they're slipping, sliding. And we'll find a bounce will take place once the little whistle stops. The bounce will take place half forward flank for Melbourne, with Melbourne on 87 points, the Swans 103. 17 minutes have gone in the final term here at the MCG. Coleman gets the tap down to right and towards the centre. It's all Melbourne. Richards picks it up, breaks the tackle, runs his full distance and puts the long kick down towards the square. Reynolds in the front position. It's punched away by Carter, but Flowers first on the scene. Beautifully walks out of trouble, snaps towards goal.
Played.
But he's just offline. Deserved better. Excellent play by Flower. At 1 point goes on the board. 12-16, 88, 15-13, 103. Carter favours the long kick. Tony Moore couldn't take the mark. Withers gets the hand pass to Moore. Moore's kick off the side of the boot out towards the half-forward flank. Williams is up, punches it away, and Healy comes in, taken away from him by Jarrett. Jarrett picks it up and goes towards Healy of Melbourne, and Greg Healy, 3 goals on the board at the moment, and should have the opportunity of making the margin only 9 points. Greg Healy, 35 metres out. I mean, kick number 18. And he has kicked 3 goals to date. Should make it 4 with his kick, and 9 points the margin. Greg Healy. 9 points is the margin as Healy kicks his 4th goal. 4 goals to Greg Healy, all since half-time. He's been an excellent player. A little quiet in the first term as we see John Northey, Frank Adams, and they would be very happy with the way Melbourne have played in this second half. They made a number of changes. Peter Moore has really lifted in the ruck. Jeffrey Edelston and the Demons fans yelling for their team to go on.
Centre bounce, 9 points the margin. Can they go on with it now? Hawke an illegal tackle, and they will go down to the half-forward line. Paul Hawke just a little enthusiastic on that occasion. Burke gets underneath one. Doesn't gather a lot of distance. Flowers at the bottom of the pack. Batterston waits for the ball to come out. It's with him now. He pushes it clear, but Bolton's got the pace. Does it well as he turns back out of trouble. Gets a hurried kick up towards the half-forward line. And the mark is taken there. I thought he was off for Russ Richards, but the umpire said no. Well, the Sydney Swans have been able to answer the challenge. Can they now? The margin is 9 points to centre wing. Once again, the mark is taken for Melbourne by Steve Newport. He swings it in towards half-forward. A good mark taking in that position by Healy. And what a day he's had. 19 kicks for Greg Healy. There's a courageous mark. That was mark number 7. Here's a chance to bring the D's within 3 points. But is he too far out, Robert?
Not just be seen, but you never know. They've been kicked from there before.
Let's see what he does. It's a good-looking drop punt in towards the square. Won't quite make the distance and tapped over for 1 behind. 8 points the difference.
Rod Carter will put the ball back into play. The Swans have been going long from full-back. Carter does so now. Tony Maud in the front position. Lyon taps it away. Bays gets the short kick in. Richards showing a good turn of speed. Comes out in front. Richards, I thought, was held when not in possession, but no free kick to Russell Richards. And so the umpire will bounce it right on the centre square line. 95 to 103. 8 points to margin in favour of the Swans. Richards gets the big tap. It's picked up by Williams. Not a well-placed kick, though. It goes out wide where it's all Melbourne. Melbourne doing all the running in this term as Cole puts it back in towards the centre. Hawke couldn't quite take the mark. It's tapped on. The hand pass. Bolton got into the back of his opponent. Coming out, Coleman tapping the ball in front of him. Glenn Coleman now gives the hand pass out. Looking for Ian Roberts. Roberts now puts it up towards centre wing. Greg Healy leads in the race for the ball. Can he stay in play? No, he cannot. And it'll be a throw-in on centre wing, members' side of the ground. 8 points the margin between the sides. 21 and a half minutes have gone in the final term.
Here's the throw-in. Moore coming in from the side. Bailey tries to tap it further afield, but it's taken by Stevie Wright. He can go short here. And the Swans have got possession through Hawke. Can he get clear? Eludes one, then goes long. Kappa, Ironmonger, no mark taken. Turner is there for the Demons over the top, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce. 22 minutes gone. The margin is 8 points. There could have been a free kick. Well, he's picked up the second one. Batterston. Melbourne want a goal, and they want it smartly. They've got the opportunity here if they can create the loose man with Cole dropping down. Goes over him. Regolo tried to tap it clear. Couldn't do so. Free kick has gone the way of the Sydney Swans, and it's Williams who receives on the outer side. Greg Williams' kick up towards half-forward once again. No one at home. Bays goes storming through. Was he held without the football? No, the umpire said you can play on. Play on they do. Still in possession. No effective kick away. Eventually dropped up towards half-forward where Bailey takes the mark. He goes with a longer kick. Back towards the centre goes the kick from Brett Bailey. Only to see Bernard Toohey scout the crumbs. To half-forward, more over the top. A good man. Well, we're in the 24th minute. There'll be a bit of time on, but they want a goal, Melbourne. They're going short and they're mucking around with it. and that will not work. Mitchell gives it to Ironmonger. Another one across to Morwood. He gets caught, goes to ground. This is fierce stuff going on in the closing minutes of this game as Connolly goes out to the half-back line, and we'll see Bayes take the mark.
Lovely mark to Bayes. Excellent defence by Melbourne. The game has really come alive. The best football of the game in this term. Moore up high. Mitchell can't get the boot to ball. Kicked off the ground by Connolly. It comes out towards half-back. Taken by Withers. Withers puts it up towards the centre of the ground. Up high and a lovely mark to Newport. Played on, but is going to be given the benefit of the doubt by the umpire. A beautiful mark to Newport. And Newport, the torpedo punt towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Hawke gets one in the back. Called play on. Batterson's short kick drops short, and so Dersma comes out with it. Puts it wide. Looks for Williams. Finds that player. Williams now swings it towards centre wing. Coleman coming out in the front position. Was going to hand pass, but a nice piece of shepherding by Carroll allows Coleman to go towards centre half forward. Over the top it comes. Capper takes possession. Capper now has the bounce. Gives the hand pass across to Gerard Healy. Healy tackled. Gets the hand pass in. It's intercepted by Hughes. Diving back in was Capper, and he traps the ball there. So both sides showing tremendous desperation, and a bounce will take place.
Almost into the 26th minute of this game. From the bounce, can the Swans get a steadying goal? Can Hughes get Melbourne out of strife? Well, he tried to get it away. The umpire's called play on. Oh, here's a chance for the Swans. It's pushed down towards half forward, and the mark is taken across half forward, some 35 to 40 metres out by Barry Mitchell, and he'll have a set shot at goal. Hasn't goaled to date, but this could just about see it. The margin is 8 points at the moment. Mitchell's dropped punt on its way. Goal umpire has a good look and says all clear, and the Sydney Swans lead by 14 points. 16-13 to 13-17 on Seven's big lead.
Tommy Hafey would breathe a sigh of relief there, Sandy, because they've really been beaten by Melbourne in this term. Melbourne just not quite able to hit that front, as Greg Healy has had a bout of the cramp. He's had a lot of training, I don't think, this year, and he's had a superb game today. From the bounce, Coleman and Moore. Coleman up high, gets the tap down. Hawke couldn't get clear with the ball. Trying to come through was Burke. Moore's in there with Burke. It comes back towards Burke again. Still can't get it clear. Wright tries to tap it out, and there'll be a bounce to take place. A bounce about 10 metres on the Swans side of the centre circle. Thrown up by the umpire. Moore takes it, grabs it. He shouldn't have done that, but he's not penalised by the umpire. Holden gains possession, can't get boot to ball. Comes out to Withers. Withers short kick. Runs out towards centre wing. Tui taps the ball back. Williams comes into Len's support. Cole did well to get the ball to Regalo. Got one too high, but called play on by the umpire and is penalised. I thought it was a tackle too high, personally. But the free kick going to the Swans, Greg Williams. 18 kicks, 16 handballs to Williams as he finds Bayes on the long left foot kick up towards the forward pocket. Runs over the boundary line, and they will not mind that because the time will tick away. 27 minutes have gone. 95 to 109. 14 points the margin. Ironmonger in the front position. Gets the tap down. Has been given the free kick. Moore coming over the top and hanging on. Ironmonger should put it right into the square. 14 points, the advantage held by the Swans. 27 and a half minutes. Capper and Hughes. Capper not leading. He wants it high into the square. High kick it is from Ironmonger. Hughes in the front position takes a nice mark. 15 metres could easily be paid. Danny Hughes comes across goal. A little dangerous, but Bailey takes it. No handballs. Back to Hughes from Johnson. A poor kick though from Johnson. Swinging into play. Greg Williams lines up. He's offline and 1 point. So Williams gets 3 points for the day. 95 to 110, a 15-point margin held by the Swans as Danny Hughes goes long, straight up the ground. Jarrett couldn't take the mark. Good roving by Connolly, puts it straight up the ground. Flower comes out with it, gets the hand pass out wide. Batterston, not a good kick from Batterston. Wobbles towards Regalo. Regalo's hand pass misses Cole. It's intercepted by Bays. Bays goes towards half-back and finds Danaher. Danaher with a hand pass across to Roberts. Roberts puts it long. Connolly in the front position takes the mark. Gets a push which sends him forward in towards the centre, and Kappa, poor play, just easily gives away a free kick downfield. Batterston with the kick. Batterston goes long, straight down the ground. Regalo in the front, from behind, Jarrett takes a timely mark. 29 minutes have gone, 15 points to margin. It should be 9 after this, as Dersma hobbles away. It's a little properly was Alan Jarrett. Puts it through for his first goal, and once again 9 points to margin, but 29 and a half minutes have gone in the final term. 14-17, 101 Melbourne. The Swans 16-14, 110. Both sides look very tired. This is understandable with the rain we've had. Heavy turf really takes it out. No clear tap. Wright taps it on. Picked up by Coleman. A high kick up towards half forward. Connolly stood his ground well. Well supported by Hughes. Comes out towards the wing. Batterston first there. Down towards half forward. He's looking for Flower. Can he keep it in play? No, he cannot. Runs over the boundary line. And so a throw-in to take place as the siren sounds. The Swans 16-14, 110, defeating Melbourne 14-17, 101.